Just don't put the limits on yourself. Like, I mean, people, once again, you're going to hear the person who had the greatest experience about moving. You're going to hear the greatest experience about not. But the best part about change is you'll know if it was for the good or for the bad, but you'll know what you needed and where you're going to go next. And no one ever said you couldn't go back to a job you were good at. They may not take you back, but if you were good at it and you just needed to see, you'll see some people who, I'm bored, I'm in the same, and they go out and they're like, no, that's my job.
Something you said there, I think a few people need to hear is that you jump, you try it, it's okay, you can go back.
You write the script of your own life. Don't let anyone judge.
You write the script of your own life. That's a Trellis mic drop right there. Welcome back. Hi, I'm Karas Wright, and this is the Karas Wright Show. Real talk, unfiltered, where we explore real topics related to business, leadership, and life. I'm here with Trellis Palmer, who I have known for, oh my goodness, better part of 30 years.
Well, I didn't think it went back that far, but when you start talking about kids and learning how to walk and dance, it's been a lot of years.
It's been a lot of years.
And a lot of entangling of kids and, committees and business. You're like family.
Yeah, you are like family. Absolutely. I have written down a few things, though, because I think our audience wants to hear a little bit about you. And so you are a woman who brings experience, warmth, straight talk, but you're deeply committed to community. Like, I remember, oh my goodness, so many different initiatives that you have done, bringing through both business, helping support other people, and you've built a career out of really helping others with important decisions. And I remember when I first met you that you were looking at making complicated things accessible, which is really cool. And so right now, what you've done is you've navigated through industry as a businesswoman. You dabbled in politics.
Yes, that was an interesting go. I loved it. I love all the experiences.
And you were diving into some pretty intense things. Like, when I think resilience, I think Trellis Palmer.
Oh, thanks. Honestly, I think a lot of it, I just jump in to say that there's nothing that's going to say that I can't do it. And I want to be the one that can give you the inside scoop on it and show people how to do things better, learn the inside. I liken myself to, what's that jobs show where the guy does all the different jobs and he goes in and shows, do you know who that is?
Yeah. He gets in and
he tries that one job for the day and he shows everyone and he's like, no, this isn't it. This is, I really, truly have loved every bit of any kind of volunteer work that I've done. Any, like if somebody needed help during Christmas, I'd help them out. If my eye doctor needed help, they were short-staffed and I said, well, hey, I'm in between contracts with, what I'm doing. Can I help? And I jumped in and helped. And I'm not good with medical stuff, so eyes were not for me. And but I loved the people and sold lots of, business for them. And same with my chiropractor. They needed a maternity fill-in. It filled in between my jobs and my kids. And once again, medical is not, bones sticking out and stuff is just like, I will get you an appointment. But, I just love it. Love everything that I've done.
See a need, fill a need.
Mm-hmm.
That's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this topic that you had brought up and had asked me to speak to, and because you're so much an icon for promoting women in business, I guess that's me and my twin factor. I have a twin brother and he's got the blue jobs and I the girl jobs, but I just always prided myself in trying to balance raising a family, but also to having the ability to still be important and still maintain friendships and grow and learn. And there was nothing that was going to hold me back.
Wow. Wow.
Love it.
Just being able to give back to community. Now, I wanna focus in a little bit on your back in insurance, which
Yes.
I know is a huge love of yours. And it can feel like a giant. I know from being in the finance industry for so many years and working in insurance myself, it needs to be demystified. It's a bit of a confusing puzzle for both residential but also business owners. But you seem to have a way of being able to break down complex things and make it simple. How do you do that so people can understand what they really need?
Well, in insurance, like we all pay it. We all hate paying extra insurance. We all know we have to have it legally to be on the roads. We know that we need to protect our stuff, our items, and sometimes we don't want to put value on our things because we don't want to pay more for that. But there's so much more that needs to be looked at. And I encourage anyone who's looking at their policies and don't understand it to make that appointment or call that company, speak to the broker. That is our job. Like, we're the ones who are supposed to make sure that you know that you're paying for something that's going to help you in a loss or a cyber attack. Um, for commercial insurance, I love it in the sense that I do know so many people in business that have been taken advantage of or didn't realize that they needed different coverages or were underinsured. Nobody ever says, oh my God, I can't believe I had to put in a claim and they covered everything, but I hate that they paid me, money. Like, everyone always
Mhm.
complains when it's like, I can't believe I put out this kind of money and I've never had an insurance claim for 20 years. You did the best to protect yourself and your family because it's a ripple effect. And my brain, I think, works very much grandiose at times where friends like you have to scale me back and
Mhm.
come back, Trellis. But when you look at the full picture, insurance doesn't just affect your vehicle or your company, it affects your family, it affects your bottom line. So if you don't know what you don't know, you're not going to be covered for it. And, there's been some heart wrenching stories where people have called in and, oh no, like, I have to be covered for this. Like, I'm certain I was covered for this. And it's like, I'm really sorry, you are not. But going forward, let me tell you, you are going to be covered for this, 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 this. And I love being fully faceted and, like, again, what I don't know, I will find out
Yeah.
how you can protect yourself.
What has made that meaningful for you to return back into the insurance industry?
You know, I think it was so great that I've had so many different contracts while my kids were growing up. I always wanted to work around their schedule and, holidays at weekends, summers and stuff, that it gave me the opportunity to really get a look at people's lives, what's important to them, just getting out and meeting people. Different jobs I had, well, it's like being a vendor at a
Mm.
table. You have to wait for people to always come to you. Whereas I want to always meet people. I always say, somebody's always a friend being waiting to be met, right? Like, or there's always that, third degree of separation or whichever. I love people and I love making the connection. By the time I'm done talking to somebody, we can find so many things that are connected.
Mm.
And then I just have that nurturing where, they share things with me and it's like, okay. And that's where I guess my background, my social work, you know, previous years before children, really allows me to step forward and be like, okay, I can do this. I don't need to be ground into their, meat and potatoes of feelings, but I can help them and give them, different things that they can strategize that I've seen out and done. And it just built such a good network and credibility. Like, I have people who connect with me and they trust what I say.
Yeah. Interesting, that blend of the knowledge of the industry with the social work. What makes that different in how you approach things?
I'm very cognizant of what affects people. Like, in a crisis, I'm not going to be like, can I put you on hold? Like, I think a lot of people miss that, the emotion that you can read over a phone and have that. As I've had leaders tell me, we can always teach somebody a job. We can't teach them how to be good with people and read the
Mm.
room or read the feelings. So with that, I feel like, if somebody's calling in and they're yelling and it's like, okay, well, like, I just need you to breathe a minute. And I took your call because I do my job and I take your call. I just need you to stop yelling at me so I can help you. Well, okay, let's just take a moment and I can help you move forward. So there's that ability to calm people down and get them. We've been there. We've all been there where something has gone wrong. We all know what it feels like, but how do we get past that? You listen, you let them have their moment, and then it's time to move on. So you segment that. What's the real issue here?
Being able to create real connection to
Mhm.
allow to understand.
Exactly.
Insurance gets a bad rap.
Totally.
Absolutely. What are some of the misconceptions?
It's I just want to make money. I'm just trying to hit my quota. I'm just, it's commission based. It's, insurance is out there to screw everybody. Like, and if I didn't have to have it, I wouldn't have it. Um, and when people call in and they go, like, I can't believe my policy went up this much. And I'm like, oh, $25 a month? Okay, that is a lot. You don't get me wrong, and a dollar is more.
Mhm.
But I'm like, I moved from small town Okotoks to Calgary, and my premium went up $400, and I work in the industry. And I was like, what? And so I can share that because it's not a personal, like it's personal to location. And they're like, I'm good. $25 that's great. Okay, well, thank you for being so, candid and putting that into perspective. And I'm like, if you have any other questions, or I've created cheat sheets for insurance so that people can understand like layman's terms. Not that you can't Google that. Um, but sometimes you just want to know what you're getting, what you're
Mm.
paying for. Like my premiums are just as high as anyone else's. Like I still have to have all of it as well. I mean, we can get a discount with different ones, but I I don't like paying it every month.
Yeah.
But it is a bad rap, but it's something you have to have, and you're glad you have it when you need it.
Yeah. It's the thing that you're very grateful for
Mhm.
when something happens.
Exactly.
But, I've spent many years in business banking and now as a business coach, what I do find when I go through is that business insurance often is a gap. And so
Right.
what's the risk to a business owner if they choose not to go down that avenue?
And I think that's where my perspective is I'm not selling, I'm educating.
Mm.
So if you're a client who's contacting me, say it like even, selling mortgages or home insurance or whatever, you need to know the benefit of it
Mhm.
before you're going to be sold on it. I don't see it that way necessarily. I see it as, listen, these are the things that I need to tell you about. You have every right to pick and choose. This is your buffet.
Mm.
Like, but if I don't tell you, you need to have $2 million liability general insurance just to be on the road to protect yourself in cases of high impact, multiple vehicle collisions. There's just, you don't know that. And when something, heaven forbid, happens, you're going to be like, what? Like, it doesn't cover. It doesn't cover the high speeds, the multiple people who are running uninsured. We all know that one person who's been like, I didn't get enough in my insurance claim. I didn't get enough for my car. I didn't get enough for this. Learning about insurance, there's so many more things like the uninsured motorist fund. There's just so
Yeah.
much.
And it's unfortunately not a sexy subject.
No, but I find it. I try to find the best in almost any type of position that I've done. Like when you learn about it, finding those positives, peace of mind, knowing that something happens to you, your business insurance is going to cover you for that employee that you've had for 5 years, 20 years that's decided to find a way to steal money from you, or a friend, a very personal friend, had her domain stolen, and so her
Mm.
whole company, it was gone. They were even receiving cash money on people making monthly payments or buying things online. And they were unaware of, insurance for that, for cybersecurity, for, bigger down deposits, not deductibles. Like,
Right.
you know, um, there's ways to still navigate it. And I love it's the puzzle. Do a higher deductible if you can afford it. Then you pay lower premiums for the year. You should not be punished for being, so good and so diligent. Here's some different things you can do. And by the end, they're like, no one's ever took that time. Yeah. Well, s- sometimes it's who's receiving the information too is like, that's not my job. That's your job, but you're only as good as the information you provide.
Well, our online footprint, for lack of a better term, is so huge now. We don't realize with, having our credit cards on two-factor authentication and our business domains and all
Yeah.
of that, the risk involved and the downtime to be able to recover, that's huge.
Huge, huge. Like nobody anticipates getting someone driving through the front of their store or but I find we're such a tap and go society now. Like if it's not fast enough, even in the drive through, it's not fast enough. Gotta go, gotta go. So you bump the person in front of you. Well, there's $500. How's that? You're waiting for a coffee. But it's people need to slow down just a little bit. They need to slow down and not be so trusting.
What's your 3 tips to help reduce the overwhelm where navigating insurance is concerned?
Well, especially when it comes to business, I see a lot of people who are taking a lot of information from online that's from people who are not in the profession or have had experiences that were positive or negative. Every person has an individual story. So you need to have a conversation with somebody in insurance about you because the other person isn't the same age. They're not the same demographic. They're not the same location. They're not the same, previous claims. They're not. Everyone is different. So people need to stop listening to people online. Like everybody's a Facebook medic. Everyone's a Facebook insurance person. But these types of things are so important. And where people realize they're important is when they have to make a claim.
Okay.
So that would be one. The second one would be, breathe. We all have to pay it. Like everyone. So navigate that and have the power to take the control and shop. Go to a brokerage or call a brokerage that can shop for you, but do a little research on the company. Yes, you might have the cheapest premiums. Have you looked at the claims?
Make an informed decision.
And make the informed decision for sure. Because if you make it on money, based on money, yes, we all need to have more in our pocket. That absolute amount that you saved, when you have to put in that claim and they're like, well, your water coverage was not the same as what you had before. And they're like, no, I said I wanted the exact same. No, you said you wanted a cheaper policy. So look at the direct writers, what they can offer you. Look at the brokerages, what they can do for you. There has to be some ownership there like that. And then 3 is revisit it. Don't be content with what you have year after year because it's the best premium. And if you don't rock the boat, you're outdated. So what was good for 1 million general liability for auto insurance was the exception. Now it's not the norm. Now we're saying 2 million is even companies are even offering a little more because the expense. Now, vehicles, medical, it's just crazy. So those top 3 things could save people a lot of headache and hassle. And when you avoid, we all know it all comes around. So, and in the end, what you sign is a contract and you're liable for what you sign. So
while you're talking, something that's coming up for me is the importance of really understanding what you're needing to have covered.
Exactly.
And having somebody that you can have a conversation with as opposed to somebody who's just going to say, here's the policy.
Yeah.
Because I've been in the industry for 25 years. I don't know if I'd know the right questions to ask.
Right.
So how would somebody who's just getting into business for the first time, what do they need to know?
Well, they have to have a true understanding of their business and they need to find somebody the insurance that understands it. So I work in commercial insurance now. It's every day is a new day. I have amazing people in my workplace and friends. Absolutely, people have their own niche. So, I'm not going to do a salon or a trucking company because I don't know how to effectively offer and give them all that. I'm not afraid to give that person to someone who's way more diligent and way more understanding of those aspects. So I'm not sales driven that way because I know things will come back to me tenfold, and they do. Like that one person who's in business knows 10 other people. He's like, thank you for not pretending that you could make this work or, rushing me through it and getting me somebody who actually understands the industry. And I get referrals out of that. I just, to me, that's the payoff is my friend said, you're the person who can connect me. And quite often that's just the pride and the trust that people give to me to do that. And people benefit from it.
You're also a woman in an industry that has traditionally been a lot of men. Walk me through what that's like in the evolution of being a woman in and out insurance over the years.
You would be surprised how many women are in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I actually was introduced to insurance from my insurance broker um, when I had to get the insurance and my kids were young and had to look at life insurance. Well, didn't have to, but everyone says you have to. So, you have to have insurance, and then you have to talk to this person or you have to go to this company. So I lucked out with a really amazing woman and her name is Shauna. I won't say her last name, but I will give her kudos because throughout the years, like she did home and auto, and then she looked after me and she would give me that call and, hey, how are you doing? Do you feel like things are going good? And I'm like, I think they're going good. And I'm like, ask her more about her job and stuff. And she had kids. Our kids went to school together and stuff. So it was like, this is a job I probably could do. Like, just keep that in my back burner. But she was really the reason why I looked at it.
Okay.
And when an opportunity came up in our small town, I thought, well, I'm going to see. Let's see what this is all about. And I love the education component of it. The women need to look at way more different roles because when you think commercial, you think commercial cars and you think cheesy salesman or, that farmer that, was making money trying to do this. And there's someone out there to try and, cash them in on their life insurance. And, just there's even through movies and stuff like that, it's not like that at all. It's, I've actually seen, there's a lot more women than I thought in the commercial industry, and they have been there for a long time.
Well,
They
a
have.
lot has changed. Like I even think back when I first was a business banker 20 years ago, I was one of very few.
Right.
And I went to a networking event 3 weeks ago and ran into some commercial bankers and business bankers, and they were all women. So it's really great to see how that's changed over the years. What challenges do you still bump up against?
For me, there's life challenges for everybody. I think for women, a lot of the challenges that they face is balancing work-life balance, especially multiple children, whether it's a relationship, single. For some, it's, health and work. And for me personally, it's really, I love goals and I love reaching out and seeing how many people I can touch, but know that I've made a difference.
Is it balance or is it work-life synthesis?
I would say more that,
Yeah.
because you really have to have, like a, you have to have a company that believes in the people. They can't just have slogans and, their mission statements be all this, but not back it up. I've been very fortunate that I have had amazing employers that, whether it's been contract or in the role I've been in with this company that I'm currently with since 2023. And they see me as a person.
Yes.
And that's good because
Right.
there's times where I've needed that and they have been amazing. The training, if more women looked at insurance and I don't even know how I can not make it sound cheesy. You could do something from just phones, like just answering phones and booking appointments. You could be the administrator. You could be in HR. You can be for insurance. You could go home and auto. You could be just doing incoming sales. But not only that is the smarter people, because I'm not a mathematician type person, but there's some really smart women out there that don't know where to go. There's actuaries that actually make up the formulas for what we pay based on, all the snowstorms and hail and everything, bring it all together and, put these formulas together and then see how it goes, the trends. And you'll quite often hear from insurance people, well, this insurance company, that's not their appetite. We don't want young drivers, or we don't want people who are high risk or, stuff like that, their appetite. Well, that's those actuaries do all that. But then the claims person, like you really want a really great person who's in claims that is understanding, but is going to answer the call and call you back. And, I've had an accident where I'm like, I'm like, it's me. And you want a calm person on that side, but you want somebody who is educated as well. And a lot of them are women. And a lot of them, when I talk to people about it, they're, how'd you get in? And, how, it's like, it's not cracking into an industry. I mean, they do have lots of checks and balances for, it is a financial company, so you can't be, criminal or have financial issues that are affecting your work. But what an amazing opportunity for so many women.
Yeah.
So many women.
The evolution, the opportunity to evolve yourself sounds like it's almost limitless.
I just love learning.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, if you get in with the right companies, they will see you and they will encourage you to take, courses. I've got my General 1, my General 2. They've encouraged us to take on designations. I thought going back into insurance at 50, I thought, no, I can't keep cracking this egg open again and again. But it's great.
What is it like shifting your career at 50? You kind of joke when you say that, but it's like, you're like, oh my God.
Oh, I laugh because I see these posts and I talk to people and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm in my 30s and I don't want to keep flip-flopping. And I'm thinking, oh God, you don't want to see my resume because I mean, it was a joke at work. It was like, oh, let me guess you've done that.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, let me guess you've done that. Or I didn't see you at the Millerville Fair when you did your one-day volunteering this year or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, no, I couldn't make that one work. It's it's well, 50, I didn't think I could do it. I didn't actually think I was brain cognitive enough to pass tests. And I really challenged myself to be like, okay, this is a stable career. This is salary plus commissions plus benefits. This is more a solid career than I've had. Like I've had so many, contracts that I have to put my feet down at some point and grow some roots.
I would actually say you have been adventurous throughout the years with all of the changes that you've had, and that's not something easy. I would almost, for those that have been in that stable job that's looking to jump and do something different because they're like, oh, I'm 50, I need to do this.
Yeah.
You've already done that.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
Just don't put the limits on yourself. Like, I mean, people, once again, you're going to hear the person who had the greatest experience about moving. You're going to hear the greatest experience about not. But the best part about change is you'll know if it was for the good or for the bad, but you'll know what you needed and where you're going to go next. And no one ever said you couldn't go back to a job you were good at. They may not take you back, but if you were good at it and you just needed to see, you'll see some people who, I'm bored, I'm in the same, and they go out and they're like, no, that's my job.
Hey, something you said there, I think a few people need to hear is that you jump, you try it, it's okay, you can go back.
You write the script of your own life. Don't let anyone judge.
You write the script of your own life.
Honestly.
That's a Trellis mic drop right there.
My Trellisisms all the time, but stop feeling judged.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one perspective of one of my family members is like, can you hold down a job? Like, I said, hold down a job. I'm like, I always have a job opportunity. And if anyone says there's no employment, like somebody doesn't want to start out at low and get hired, I can't help that mindset. But I have never been without a job. And I've been so blessed to be able to work the jobs around my kids and hockey and dance and, family and not be insane or that I can think. But all those hockey trips, I've never had to say no. Like, I can honestly say that empower yourself to make it work for you.
The importance of relationships in your life has led you to wait until now.
Yeah.
To find that stable career.
Well, and you know what? I love what I do, but I love people so much that my focus is people. So if my job ever came to a point where it could go into a role of teaching and, something to evolve there, I never put a limit. I'm never going to cap myself. Obviously we all have bills that we have to pay. I need consistency. We're all getting older. Things are cracky crack and, so a little more mojo to get out of bed in the morning. So, like I need stability at this stage of the game, but I'll never say never.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your choice as a person to be stagnant. But that family member that said, "Oh, can you not just hold down a job?" I was like, I could do anything I wanted. I've tried this. I've helped out here. I've done this. I've helped out here. I've volunteered here. I ran for politics twice. I have no regrets, and I've learned so much with each time that even with like the election that just happened, I was able to give some insight from a perspective of somebody who's ran for council, but also too who is a taxpayer.
Mm.
So it's like, if I could have gone back, I would have gone back and looked at other people's platforms and I would have seen what, you know, you have you have the greatest amount of information now. I always tell my kids and their friends, you're in the generation of power and information. If you don't think you have the knowledge, Google can give you a really good, AI, is it AI? I don't know. I'm, I'm still trying to figure out everything, but it's all smarter than we are. So we're the smartest, dumbest population in this generation because everything's at our fingertips. We just have to make sure we have the emotion with it.
Mm.
What works for you doesn't work for everyone else. But try. I'm not going to be capped. I love.
You're not going to be kept. What has allowed you to just step into, like, move forward, really?
I think it's a lot of influential, powerful women in my life.
Mm.
I way back in Grand Prairie, of all places, had an amazing role model, and she was alderwoman of Grand Prairie. And my life situation, I was out on my own at 16, paying rent and living with them. Um, what amazing empowerment that I had that I didn't have from my own mom and my own family. Um, I just encourage people to open up to other supports and don't be afraid for your kids to have good support people. Like always be protective, but there's some really great influential people that are not necessarily a parent or related and just grow. Like
Mm.
I have still have work boots from when I helped open the Costco. Like I did the marketing with everyone. It was in between the kids' school year and I ran out of work because we sold enough memberships, everything. And they're like, yeah, we don't need the marketing team anymore. I was like, well, I still need a job. And they're like, well, unless you want to do some sweeping and help build cages. And next thing you know, I'm off to Costco in my work boots and steel toe boots and helping with that because I needed the money, but I needed someone to say yes and have the experience.
So, if you could give one grounded piece of advice to a woman who's building a business or moving into leadership or looking at making a change, what would you say to them?
I would say get together with like foundations that do business plans. Do not start anything without a business plan because a business plan will help you direct you in the way that you're supposed to move forward. And it almost, in a way, coaches you what next step to go and look at grants, especially women in business. I have shared so many different women grant leadership. There's small business loans and stuff that are available for specifically for women in business. But yeah, hands down, get a business
Mm.
like
A business plan.
a business
You're
plan.
you're
Yeah,
you're speaking to a business
yeah,
banker who values a business plan.
yes. Well,
Yeah.
it's you can't go into teaching, you know, teaching about your products and
Yeah.
this and that if you don't have what do they say? Finances sink companies because you can talk about it, you can sell it, but if you don't have the core set, it's not there.
Well, the reality is the number of businesses that don't reach it to year 5
Yes.
is, I think it's in the 90%.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. So that business plan is something that is crucial,
Right.
and it helps to create that clarity.
Well, and being resilient and finding other ways to
Mm.
sell.
Give me your top tip for resiliency because you are the most resilient person I know.
Oh, I honestly, I don't know. I maybe it's just a lot of change growing up, a lot of um I don't know. I mean, we all have life experience. Some can say it's really bad. I think It's how you look at it. I had a lot of change growing up, and maybe that made me just very adaptive. But I always wanted to make sure that I was in the right place to help and that I earned my money and made a difference.
Okay. I feel at the heart of that is, and what I've noticed, I mean, we've known each other a long, long time, is that it's community that's brought you centered.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It fills my bucket.
Oh my goodness.
Fills my bucket.
Well, Trellis, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. That is it for today's show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Until next time,
Yeah.
keep showing up, be curious, lead with heart.
Yes.